The Legacy Standard Bible, the Book of Proverbs, Chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and discipline, to understand the sayings of understanding, to receive discipline that leads to insight, righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the youth knowledge and discretion. Let the wise man hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding will acquire guidance. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Ignorant fools despise wisdom and discipline. Hear, my son, your father's discipline, and do not abandon your mother's instruction. For they are a garland of grace for your head, and ornaments about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not be willing. If they say, "Come with us, let us lie in wait for blood. Let us ambush the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole as those who go down to the pit. We will find all kinds of precious wealth. We will fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lot with us. We shall all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Withhold your feet from their pathway, for their feet run to evil, and they hasten to shed blood. For it is no use that a net is spread in the sight of any bird. But they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. So are the paths of everyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its possessors. Wisdom shouts in the street. She gives forth her voice in the square. At the head of the noisy streets she calls out. At the entrance of the gates in the city she utters her sayings. How long, O simple ones, will you love simplicity, and scoffers delight in scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? Turn to my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. Because I called and you refused. I stretched out my hand and no one paid attention. And you neglected all my counsel and were not willing to accept my reproof. I will also laugh at your disaster. I will mock when your dread comes. When your dread comes like a storm, and your disaster comes like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you. Then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will seek me earnestly, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. They were not willing to accept my counsel. They spurned all my reproof. So they shall eat of the fruit of their way, and be satisfied with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But he who listens to me shall dwell securely, and will be at ease from the dread of evil. Proverbs, chapter 2. My son, if you will receive my words, and treasure my commandments within you, to make your ear pay attention to wisdom, incline your heart to discernment. For if you call out for understanding, give your voice for discernment, if you seek her as silver, and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of Yahweh, and find the knowledge of God. For Yahweh gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and discernment. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright, a shield to those who walk in integrity, to guard the paths of justice, and he keeps the way of his holy ones. Then you will understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good track. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will keep you, discernment will guard you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the man who speaks perverse things, from those who forsake the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who are glad to do evil, and they rejoice in the perversity of evil, whose paths are crooked, and who are devious in their tracks, to deliver you from the strange woman, from the foreign woman, who flatters with her words, who forsakes the close companion of her youth, and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house sinks down to death, and her tracks descend to the dead. All who go to her will not return, and they will not reach the paths of life. So that you will walk in the way of good men, and keep to the paths of the righteous. For the upright will dwell in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the treacherous will be torn away from it. Proverbs chapter 3. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart guard my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Do not let loving kindness and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. So you will find favor and good insight in the eyes of God and man. Trust in Yahweh with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear Yahweh and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your body and refreshment to your bones. Honor Yahweh from your wealth and from the first of all your produce, so your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will burst with new wine. My son, do not reject the discipline of Yahweh, or loathe his reproof. For whom Yahweh loves he reproves, even as a father reproves the son in whom he delights. How blessed is the man who finds wisdom, and the man who obtains discernment. For her profit is better than the profit of silver, and her produce better than fine gold. She is more precious than pearls, and nothing you desire compares with her. Length of days is in her right hand, in her left hand are riches and glory. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her pathways are peace. She is a tree of life to those who seize her, and all those who hold her fast are blessed. Yahweh by wisdom founded the earth, by discernment he established the heavens. By his knowledge the deeps were split up, and the skies drip with dew. My son, let them not deviate from your eyes. Guard sound wisdom and discretion, so they will be life for your soul and grace for your neck. Then you will walk in your way securely, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be in dread. You will lie down, and your sleep will be pleasant. Do not be afraid of sudden dread, nor of the storm of the wicked when it comes. For Yahweh will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being caught. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your hand to do it. Do not say to your neighbor, "Go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it," when it is there with you. Do not devise harm against your neighbor while he lives securely beside you. Do not contend with a man without cause, if he has dealt you no harm. Do not envy a man of violence, and do not choose any of his ways. For the devious one is an abomination to Yahweh, but his secret counsel is with the upright. The curse of Yahweh is on the house of the wicked one, but he blesses the abode of the righteous. Though he scoffs at the scoffers, yet he gives grace to the humble. The wise will inherit glory, but fools raise up disgrace. Proverbs chapter 4. Hear, O sons, the discipline of a father, and pay attention that you may know understanding. For I give you sound learning. Do not forsake my instruction. When I was a son to my father, tender and the only son before my mother, then he instructed me and said to me, Let your heart hold fast my words. Keep my commandments and live. Acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. Do not forget and do not turn away from the sayings of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is, acquire wisdom, and with all your acquiring, acquire understanding. Prize her, and she will exalt you. She will honor you if you embrace her. She will give for your head a garland of grace. She will present you with a crown of beauty. Hear, my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. I have instructed you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in upright tracks. When you walk, your steps will not be impeded, and if you run, you will not stumble. Seize discipline. Do not let go. Guard her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of wicked men, and do not step into the way of evil men. Avoid it. Do not pass by it. Stray from it, and pass on. For they do not sleep unless they do evil, and they are robbed of sleep unless they make someone stumble. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, that shines brighter and brighter until the fullness of day. The way of the wicked is like thick darkness. They do not know over what they stumble. My son, pay attention to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them deviate from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart. For they are life to those who find them, and healing to all his flesh. Guard your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. Put away from you a perverse mouth, and put devious lips far from you. Let your eyes look directly ahead, and even let your eyelids be fixed straight in front of you. Watch the track of your feet, and all your ways will be established. Do not turn to the right nor to the left. Turn your foot from evil. Proverbs chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my discernment, that you may keep discretion, and that your lips may guard knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drip honey, and smoother than oil is her speech. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold of Sheol, lest she watch the path of life. Her tracks are unstable, she does not know it. So now, my sons, listen to me, and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your splendor to others, and your years to the cruel one. Lest strangers be satisfied by your strength and by your painful labor, those in the house of a foreigner. And you groan at your end, when your flesh and your body are consumed. And you say, How I have hated discipline, and my heart spurned reproof. I have not listened to the voice of my instructors, and I have not inclined my ear to my teachers. I was almost in utter ruin, in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, and fresh water from your own well. Should your springs be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be for you alone, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and be glad in the wife of your youth. As a loving hind and a graceful doe, let her breasts satisfy you at all times. Be intoxicated always with her love. So why should you, my son, be intoxicated with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a foreign woman? For the ways of a man are before the eyes of Yahweh, and he watches all his tracks. His own iniquities will capture him who is the wicked one, and with the cords of his sin he will be held fast. He will die for lack of discipline, and in the abundance of his folly he will stumble in intoxication. Proverbs chapter 6. My son, if you have become a guarantor for your neighbor, have struck your hands in pledge for a stranger, if you have been snared with the words of your mouth, have been caught with the words of your mouth. Do this then, my son, and deliver yourself, since you have come into the hand of your neighbor. Go, humble yourself, and badger your neighbor. Give no sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hunter's hand, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, O sluggard, observe her ways and be wise, which, having no chief, officer, or ruler, prepares her food in the summer, and gathers her provision in the harvest. How long will you lie down, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Your poverty will come in like a vagabond, and your want like an armed man. A vile person, a wicked man, is the one who walks with a perverse mouth, who winks with his eyes, who signals with his feet, who points with his fingers, who with perversity in his heart continually devises evil, who spreads contentions. Therefore his disaster will come suddenly. Instantly he will be broken, and there will be no healing. There are 6 things which Yahweh hates, even 7 which are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked thoughts, feet that hasten to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who spreads strife among brothers. My son, observe the commandment of your father, and do not abandon the law of your mother. Bind them continually on your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you walk about, they will lead you. When you sleep, they will keep watch over you. And when you awake, they will speak to you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs for discipline are the way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the smooth tongue of the foreign woman. Do not desire her beauty in your heart, nor let her capture you with her eyelids. For on account of a harlot one is reduced to a loaf of bread, and an adulteress hunts for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Or can a man walk on hot coals, and his feet not be scorched? So is the one who goes in to his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her will not go unpunished. Men do not despise a thief if he steals, to fill himself when he is hungry. But when he is found, he must repay 7-fold. He must give all the substance of his house. The one who commits adultery with a woman is lacking a heart of wisdom. He who would destroy his soul does it. Wounds and disgrace he will find, and his reproach will not be blotted out. For jealousy enrages a man, and he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not accept any ransom. He will not be willing, though you give many bribes. Proverbs chapter 7. My son, keep my words, and treasure my commandments within you. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your intimate friend, in order to keep you from the strange woman, from the foreign woman who flatters with her words. For at the window of my house I looked out through my lattice, and I saw among the simple, and discerned among the sons, a young man lacking a heart of wisdom, passing through the street near her corner, and he strides along the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening of that day, in the middle of the night, and in the thick darkness, and behold, a woman comes to meet him, dressed as a harlot, and cunning of heart. She is boisterous and rebellious. Her feet do not dwell at home. Stepping in the streets, stepping in the squares, and near every corner she lies in wait. So she seizes him and kisses him, and with a brazen face she says to him, "The sacrifices of peace offerings are with me. Today I paid my vows. Therefore I have come out to meet you, to seek your face earnestly, and I have found you. I have spread my couch with coverings, with colored linens of Egypt. I have sprinkled my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come then, let us drink our fill as lovers until morning. Let us delight ourselves with the pleasures of love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a journey far away. He took a bag of silver in his hand. On the day of the full moon he will come home. With her abundant persuasions she entices him. With her flattering lips she drives him to herself. He suddenly follows her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as one in fetters to the discipline of an ignorant fool, until an arrow pierces through his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare, and he does not know that it will cost him his soul. So now, my sons, listen to me, and pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart go astray into her ways. Do not wander into her pathways. For many are the slain whom she has cast down, and numerous are all those killed by her. The ways to Sheol are in her house, descending to the chambers of death. Proverbs chapter 8. Does not wisdom call, and discernment give forth her voice? At the top of the heights upon the way, where the pathways meet, she takes her stand. Beside the gates, at the opening to the city, at the entrance of the doors, she makes a shout. To you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O simple ones, understand prudence, and, O fools, understand a heart of wisdom. Listen, for I will speak noble things, and the opening of my lips will reveal upright things. For my mouth will utter truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing twisted or crooked in them. They are all straightforward to him who understands, and right to those who find knowledge. Take my discipline and not silver, and knowledge rather than choicest fine gold. For wisdom is better than pearls, and all desirable things cannot compare with her. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and I find knowledge and discretion. The fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride and arrogance and the evil way and the mouth of perverted words I hate. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. Might is mine. By me kings reign, and rulers mark out righteousness. By me princes rule, and nobles, all who judge rightly. I love those who love me, and those who earnestly seek me will find me. Riches and glory are with me, enduring wealth and righteousness. My fruit is better than fine gold, even pure gold, and my produce better than choice silver. I walk in the path of righteousness, in the midst of the pathways of justice, to give those who love me an inheritance of wealth, that I may fill their treasuries. Yahweh possessed me at the beginning of his way, before his deeds of old. From everlasting I was installed, from the beginning, from the earliest times of the earth. When there were no depths I was brought forth, when there were no springs heavy with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills I was brought forth, while he had not yet made the earth and the fields outside, nor the first dust of the world. When he established the heavens I was there, when he marked out a circle on the face of the deep, when he made firm the skies above, when the springs of the deep became strong, when he set for the sea its boundary, so that the water would not pass over his command, when he marked out the foundations of the earth. Then I was beside him as a master workman, and I was a daily delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the world his earth. My delight is in the sons of men. So now, O sons, listen to me, for blessed are they who keep my ways. Hear discipline and be wise, and do not neglect it. How blessed is the man who hears me, to watch daily at my doors, to keep watch at my doorposts. For he who finds me finds life, and obtains favor from Yahweh. But he who sins against me does violence to his own soul. All those who hate me love death. Proverbs chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her cattle. She has mixed her wine. She has also prepared her table. She has sent out her maidens. She calls from the tops of the heights of the city. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. To him who lacks a heart of wisdom she says, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake your simplicity and live, and step into the way of understanding. He who disciplines a scoffer receives disgrace for himself, and he who reproves a wicked man receives injury for himself. Do not reprove a scoffer, lest he hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give knowledge to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Make a righteous man know it, and he will increase his learning. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will become many, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself, and if you scoff, you alone will bear it. The woman of foolishness is boisterous, a woman of simplicity, and does not know anything. She sits at the doorway of her house, on a seat by the high places of the city, to call to those who pass by that way, who are making their paths straight. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And to him who lacks a heart of wisdom she says, Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that those she called are in the depths of Sheol. Proverbs chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish son is a grief to his mother. Treasures gained by wickedness do not profit, but righteousness delivers from death. Yahweh will not allow the soul of the righteous to hunger, but he will push away the craving of the wicked. Poor is he who works with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. He who gathers in summer is a son who acts insightfully, but he who sleeps in harvest is a son who acts shamefully. Blessings are on the head of the righteous, but the mouth of the wicked covers up violence. The remembrance of the righteous is blessed, but the name of the wicked will rot. The wise of heart will receive commandments, but an ignorant fool of loose lips will be ruined. He who walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. He who winks the eye causes pain, and an ignorant fool of loose lips will be ruined. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked covers up violence. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all transgressions. On the lips of the one who has understanding wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks a heart of wisdom. Wise men store up knowledge, But the mouth of the ignorant fool draws ruin near. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The ruin of the poor is their poverty. The wages of the righteous is life, the income of the wicked punishment. He is on the path of life who keeps discipline, but he who forsakes reproof makes himself wander about. He who covers up hatred has lying lips, and he who spreads a bad report is a fool. When there are many words, transgression is unavoidable, but he who holds back his lips has insight. The tongue of the righteous is as choice silver, the heart of the wicked is worth little. The lips of the righteous feed many, but ignorant fools die for lack of a heart of wisdom. It is the blessing of Yahweh that makes rich, and he adds no pain with it. Doing wickedness is like laughing to a fool, and so is wisdom to a man of discernment. What the wicked dreads will come upon him, but the desire of the righteous will be granted. When the whirlwind passes, the wicked is no more, but the righteous has an everlasting foundation. Like vinegar to the teeth and like smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to those who send him. The fear of Yahweh prolongs life, but the years of the wicked will be shortened. The expectation of the righteous is gladness, but the hope of the wicked will perish. The way of Yahweh is a stronghold to the one with integrity, but ruin to the workers of iniquity. The righteous will never be shaken, but the wicked will not dwell in the land. The mouth of the righteous bears wisdom, but the tongue of perversions will be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked what is perverse. Proverbs chapter 11. A deceptive balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. When arrogance comes, then comes disgrace, but with the meek is wisdom. The integrity of the upright will lead them, but the crookedness of the treacherous will destroy them. Wealth will not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness will deliver from death. The righteousness of the blameless will make his way straight, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them, but the treacherous will be captured by their own desire. When a wicked man dies, his hope will perish, and the expectation of vigorous men perishes. The righteous is rescued from distress, but the wicked takes his place. With his mouth the godless man corrupts his neighbor, but through knowledge the righteous will be rescued. When it goes well with the righteous, the city exults, and when the wicked perish, there is joyful shouting. By the blessing of the upright a city is raised up, but by the mouth of the wicked it is torn down. He who despises his neighbor lacks a heart of wisdom, but a man of discernment keeps silent. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets, but he who is faithful in spirit conceals a matter. Where there is no guidance, the people fall, but in abundance of counselors there is salvation. If one becomes a guarantor for a stranger, he will surely suffer, but he who hates striking hands in pledge is secure. A gracious woman holds fast to glory, but ruthless men hold fast to riches. The man of loving kindness deals bountifully with his soul, but the cruel man brings trouble on his flesh. The wicked earns deceptive wages, but he who sows righteousness gets a true reward. He who is steadfast in righteousness will attain to life, and he who pursues evil will bring about his own death. Those with a crooked heart are an abomination to Yahweh, but those of a blameless way are his delight. Assuredly, the evil man will not go unpunished, but the seed of the righteous will escape. As a ring of gold in a swine's snout, so is a beautiful woman who turns away from discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the hope of the wicked is wrath. There is one who scatters, and yet increases all the more. And there is one who holds back what is rightly due, and yet results only in want. The soul that blesses will be enriched, and he who waters will himself be watered. He who withholds grain, the people will curse him, but blessing will be on the head of him who sells it. He who earnestly seeks good seeks favor, but he who searches for evil, evil will come to him. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like the green leaf. He who troubles his own house will inherit wind, and the ignorant fool will be a slave to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who is wise wins souls. If the righteous will be repaid in the earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? Proverbs chapter 12. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is senseless. A good man will obtain favor from Yahweh, but a man of evil schemes he will condemn. A man will not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous will not be shaken. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are just, but the guidance of the wicked is deceitful. The words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. A man will be praised according to his insight, but one of perverse heart will be despised. Better is he who is lightly esteemed and has a servant than he who honors himself and lacks bread. A righteous man knows the value of the life of his animal, but even the compassion of the wicked is cruel. He who cultivates his land will be satisfied with bread, but he who pursues empty things lacks a heart of wisdom. The wicked man desires a stronghold of evil men, but the root of the righteous gives fruit. The snare of an evil man is in the transgression of his lips, but the righteous man will come out from distress. A man will be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the good deed of a man's hands will return to him. The way of an ignorant fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man is he who listens to counsel. An ignorant fool's anger is known at once, but a prudent man conceals disgrace. He who breathes out truth declares what is right, but a false witness deceit. There is one who speaks rashly, like the thrusts of a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Truthful lips will be established forever, but a lying tongue is only for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of those who devise evil, but counselors of peace have gladness. No misfortune befalls the righteous, but the wicked are filled with calamity. Lying lips are an abomination to Yahweh, but doers of faithfulness are his delight. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims folly. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the slack hand will be put to forced labor. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs it down, but a good word makes it glad. The righteous is a guide to his neighbor, but the way of the wicked makes them wander about. A slack-handed man does not roast his prey, but the wealth of a man is precious for the diligent. In the path of righteousness is life, and in its pathway there is no death. Proverbs chapter 13. A wise son accepts his father's discipline, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. From the fruit of a man's mouth he eats what is good, but the soul of the treacherous desires violence. The one who guards his mouth keeps his soul. The one who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is enriched. A righteous man hates a lying word, but a wicked man acts odiously and is humiliated. Righteousness guards the one whose way is blameless, but wickedness subverts the sinner. There is one who pretends to be rich, but has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, but has great wealth. The ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but the poor hears no rebuke. The light of the righteous is glad, but the lamp of the wicked goes out. With arrogance comes only quarreling, but with those who receive counsel is wisdom. Wealth obtained from empty effort dwindles, but the one who gathers with his hand abounds. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is a tree of life. The one who despises the word will be in debt to it, but the one who fears the commandment will be rewarded. The instruction of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn aside from the snares of death. Good insight gives grace, but the way of the treacherous is unrelenting. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool spreads out folly. A wicked messenger falls into evil, but a faithful envoy brings healing. Poverty and disgrace come to him who neglects discipline, but he who keeps reproof will be honored. Desire realized is pleasant to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to turn away from evil. He who walks with the wise will be wise, but the friend of fools will suffer harm. Evil pursues sinners, but the righteous are repaid with good. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Abundant food is in the fallow ground of the poor, but it is swept away by injustice. He who holds back his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him diligently. The righteous eats to the satisfaction of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked lacks. Proverbs chapter 14. The wise woman builds her house, but the woman of folly tears it down with her own hands. He who walks in his uprightness fears Yahweh, but he who is devious in his ways despises him. In the mouth of the ignorant fool is a rod of lofty pride, but the lips of the wise will keep them. Where no oxen are, the manger is clean, but much revenue comes by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness breathes out lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge is easy to one who has understanding. Leave the presence of a fool, as you have not known lips of knowledge there. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Ignorant fools scoff at guilt, but among the upright there is favor. The heart knows its own bitterness, and a stranger does not share its gladness. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way which seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Even in laughter the heart may be in pain, and the end of joy may be grief. The one who turns back in his heart will be satisfied with his ways, but a good man will be satisfied with his. The simple believes everything, but the prudent one discerns his steps. A wise man fears and turns away from evil, but a fool gets angry and feels secure. A quick-tempered man acts in folly, and a man of evil schemes is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil will bow down before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated even by his neighbor, but those who love the rich are many. He who despises his neighbor sins, but how blessed is he who is gracious to the poor. Will they not wander in error who devise evil? but loving kindness and truth will be to those who devise good. In all painful labor there is profit, but mere words from the lips lead only to want. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the folly of fools is folly. A truthful witness delivers souls, but he who breathes out lies is deceitful. In the fear of Yahweh there is strong security, and his children will have refuge. The fear of Yahweh is a fountain of life, to turn aside from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is a king's splendor, but in the dearth of people is a prince's ruin. He who is slow to anger has great discernment, but he who is quick-tempered raises up folly. A tranquil heart is life to the body, but jealousy is rottenness to the bones. He who oppresses the poor reproaches his Maker, but he who is gracious to the needy honors him. The wicked is thrust down by his own evil, but the righteous takes refuge even in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of one who has understanding, but in the midst of fools it is merely made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. The king's favor is toward a servant who acts insightfully, but his fury is toward him who acts shamefully. Proverbs chapter 15. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge look good, but the mouth of fools pours forth folly. The eyes of Yahweh are in every place, watching the evil and the good. A tongue that brings healing is a tree of life, but perversion in it breaks the spirit. An ignorant fool spurns his father's discipline, but he who keeps reproof is prudent. The house of the righteous has much treasure, but in the income of the wicked there is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the hearts of fools are not so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to Yahweh, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to Yahweh, but he loves one who pursues righteousness. Grievous discipline is for him who forsakes the way. He who hates reproof will die. Sheol and Abaddon lie open before Yahweh. How much more the hearts of the sons of men? A scoffer does not love one who reproves him. He will not go to the wise. A glad heart makes a face look good, but when the heart is pained, the spirit is broken. The heart of the one who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on folly. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but a good heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of Yahweh than great treasure and turmoil with it. Better is a dish of vegetables where there is love than a fattened ox and hatred in it. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger quiets a dispute. The way of the sluggard is as a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is gladness to him who lacks a heart of wisdom, but a man of discernment walks straight. Without consultation plans are frustrated, but with many counselors they succeed. A man has gladness in an apt answer, and how good is a timely word. The path of life leads upward for the one who has insight, that he may turn away from Sheol below. Yahweh will tear down the house of the proud, but he will cause the boundary of the widow to stand. Evil thoughts are an abomination to Yahweh, but pleasant words are pure. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates gifts of bribery will live. The heart of the righteous ponders how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours forth evil things. Yahweh is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Bright eyes gladden the heart. A good report puts fat on the bones. He whose ear listens to the life-giving reproof will lodge among the wise. He who neglects discipline despises his soul, but he who listens to reproof acquires a heart of wisdom. The fear of Yahweh is the discipline leading to wisdom, and before glory comes humility. Proverbs chapter 16. The plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from Yahweh. All the ways of a man are pure in his own sight, but Yahweh weighs the motives. Commit your works to Yahweh, and your plans will be established. Yahweh has made everything for its own purpose, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone who is proud in heart is an abomination to Yahweh. Assuredly, he will not be unpunished. By loving kindness and truth, iniquity is atoned for, and by the fear of Yahweh one turns away from evil. When a man's ways are pleasing to Yahweh, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great produce with injustice. The heart of man plans his way, but Yahweh directs his steps. A divine decision is in the lips of the king. His mouth should not err in judgment. A just balance and scales belong to Yahweh. All the weights of the bag are his work. It is an abomination for kings to commit wickedness, for in righteousness a throne is established. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and he who speaks uprightly is loved. The wrath of a king is like messengers of death, but a wise man will atone for it. In the light of a king's face is life, and his favor is like a cloud with the late rain. How much better it is to acquire wisdom than fine gold, and to acquire understanding is to be chosen above silver. The highway of the upright is to turn away from evil. He who guards his way keeps his soul. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before stumbling. It is better to be humble in spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He who considers the word will find good, and how blessed is he who trusts in Yahweh. The wise in heart will be called understanding, and sweetness of lips increases learning. Insight is a fountain of life to one who has it, but the discipline of ignorant fools is folly. The heart of the wise gives insight to his mouth, and increases learning to his lips. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. There is a way which seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. A worker's appetite works for him, for his mouth urges him on. A vile man digs up evil, and the words on his lips are like scorching fire. A perverse man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close companions. A man of violence entices his neighbor, and leads him in a way that is not good. He who winks his eyes does so to devise perverse things. He who compresses his lips brings evil to pass. Gray hair is a crown of beauty. It is found in the way of righteousness. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his own spirit than he who captures a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every judgment is from Yahweh. Proverbs chapter 17. Better is a dry morsel and tranquility with it, than a house full of feasting with strife. A slave who acts insightfully will rule over a son who acts shamefully, and will share in the inheritance among brothers. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but Yahweh tests hearts. An evildoer gives heed to lips of wickedness. A liar gives ear to a destructive tongue. He who mocks the poor reproaches his Maker. He who is glad at disaster will not go unpunished. Grandchildren are the crown of old men, and the beauty of sons is their fathers. Excellent lips are not fitting for a wicked fool, even less are lying lips for a noble man. A bribe is a charm in the eyes of its owner. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates close companions. A rebuke goes deeper into one who understands than 100 blows into a fool. A rebellious man seeks only evil, so a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cubs, rather than a fool in his folly. He who returns evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so abandon the dispute before it breaks out. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous, both of them alike are an abomination to Yahweh. Why is there a price in the hand of a fool to acquire wisdom when he has no heart of wisdom? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man lacking a heart of wisdom strikes his hands in pledge, and becomes guarantor in the presence of his neighbor. He who loves transgression loves quarreling. He who makes his doorway high seeks destruction. He who has a crooked heart finds no good, and he who is perverted in his tongue falls into evil. He who begets a fool does so to his grief, and the father of a wicked fool is not glad. A glad heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. A wicked man receives a bribe from the bosom, to thrust aside the paths of justice. Wisdom is in the presence of the one who understands, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a vexation to his father, and bitterness to her who gave birth to him. It is also not good to punish the righteous, nor to strike the noble for their uprightness. He who holds back his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of discernment. Even an ignorant fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is considered understanding. Proverbs chapter 18. He who separates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out in dispute against all sound wisdom. A fool does not delight in discernment, but only in revealing his own heart. When a wicked man comes, despising also comes, and with disgrace comes reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a flowing brook. To show partiality to the wicked is not good, nor to thrust aside the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips come with strife, and his mouth calls for beatings. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a whisperer are like dainty morsels, and they go down into the innermost parts of the stomach. He also who is slack in his work is brother to him who destroys. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runs into it and is set securely on high. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own delusion. Before destruction the heart of man is haughty, but humility goes before glory. He who responds with a word before he hears, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of a man can endure his sickness, but as for a broken spirit, who can bear it? The heart of the understanding acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him, and leads him into the presence of great men. The first to plead his case seems right, until another comes and examines him. The cast lot puts an end to contentions, and decides between the mighty ones. A brother offended is harder to win over than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a citadel. From the fruit of a man's mouth his stomach will be satisfied. With the produce of his lips he will be satisfied. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and obtains favor from Yahweh. The poor man speaks supplications, but the rich man answers with strong words. A man of too many friends comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs chapter 19. Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked in lips and is a fool. Also it is not good for a person to be without knowledge, and he who hurries his footsteps sins. The folly of man subverts his way, but his heart rages against Yahweh. Wealth adds many friends, but a poor man is separated from his friend. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape. Many will seek the favor of a noble man, and everyone is a friend to a man who gives gifts. All the brothers of a poor man hate him. How much more do his friends distance themselves from him? He pursues them with words, but they are no more. He who acquires a heart of wisdom loves his own soul. He who keeps discernment will find good. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will perish. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a slave to rule over princes. A man's insight makes him slow to anger, and it is his honor to overlook a transgression. The king's wrath is like the roaring of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish son is destruction to his father, and the contentions of a wife are a constant dripping. House and wealth are an inheritance from fathers, but a wife who has insight is from Yahweh. Laziness casts into a deep sleep, and a slack-handed soul will suffer hunger. He who keeps the commandment keeps his soul, but he who despises his way will die. He who is gracious to a poor man lends to Yahweh, and he will repay him for his bountiful deed. Discipline your son while there is hope, and do not direct your soul to put him to death. A man of great wrath will bear the penalty, for if you deliver him, you will only have to do it again. Listen to counsel and receive discipline, that you may be wise in the end of your days. Many thoughts are in a man's heart, but it is the counsel of Yahweh that will stand. What is desirable in a man is his loving kindness, and better is a poor man than a man of falsehood. The fear of Yahweh leads to life, so that one may sleep satisfied, not visited by evil. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish, but will not even bring it back to his mouth. Strike a scoffer, and the simple may become prudent. But reprove one who has understanding, and he will understand knowledge. He who assaults his father and causes his mother to flee is a son who brings shame and humiliation. Cease listening, my son, to discipline, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. A vile witness scoffs at justice, and the mouth of the wicked swallows up iniquity. Judgments are established for scoffers, and beatings for the back of fools. Proverbs chapter 20. Wine is a mocker, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The terror of a king is like the roar of a lion. He who provokes him to anger sins against his own soul. It is a glory for a man to cease quarreling, but any ignorant fool will break out in dispute. The sluggard does not plow from winter on, so he begs during the harvest and has nothing. Counsel in the heart of a man is like deep water, but a man of discernment draws it out. Many a man will call out his own loving kindness, but a faithful man who can find? A righteous man who walks in his integrity, how blessed are his sons after him. A king who sits on the throne of justice disperses all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have kept my heart pure, I am clean from my sin? Differing weights and differing measures, both of them are an abomination to Yahweh. It is by his deeds that a young man makes himself known, if his conduct is pure and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh has made both of them. Do not love sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes, and you will be satisfied with food. Bad, bad, says the buyer, but when he goes his way, then he boasts. There is gold, and an abundance of pearls, but the lips of knowledge are a more precious vessel. Take his garment when he becomes a guarantor for a stranger, and for foreigners, hold him in pledge. Bread obtained by lying is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth will be filled with gravel. Thoughts are established by counsel, so make war by guidance. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with one of loose lips. He who curses his father or his mother, his lamp will go out in the midst of darkness. An inheritance gained hurriedly at the beginning, in the end, will not be blessed. Do not say, I will repay evil. Hope in Yahweh, and he will save you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a deceitful balance is not good. The steps of a man are from Yahweh. How then can man understand his way? It is a trap for a man to say rashly, It is holy, and after the vows to make inquiry. A wise king winnows the wicked, and turns the threshing wheel over them. The breath of man is the lamp of Yahweh, searching all the innermost parts of his body. Loving kindness and truth will guard the king, and he upholds his throne by loving kindness. The honor of young men is their strength, and the majesty of old men is their gray hair. Stripes that wound scour away evil, and strokes reach the innermost parts of the body. Proverbs chapter 21. The king's heart is like channels of water in the hand of Yahweh. He turns it wherever he pleases. Every man's way is right in his own eyes, but Yahweh weighs the hearts. To do righteousness and justice is chosen by Yahweh over sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the fallow ground of the wicked are sin. The thoughts of the diligent lead surely to profit, but everyone who is hasty comes surely to poverty. Working for treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting breath by those who pursue death. The destruction of the wicked will drag them away because they refuse to do justice. The way of a guilty man is perverse, but as for the pure, his work is upright. It is better to live in a corner of a roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. The soul of the wicked craves evil, his neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. When the scoffer is punished, the simple becomes wise, and when one considers wisdom, he receives knowledge. The righteous one considers the house of the wicked, turning the wicked to ruin. He who shuts his ear to the outcry of the poor will himself also call and not be answered. A gift in secret subdues anger, and a bribe in the bosom strong wrath. To do justice is pleasure for the righteous, but is ruin to the workers of iniquity. A man who wanders from the way of insight will rest in the assembly of the dead. He who loves pleasure will become a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not become rich. The wicked is a ransom for the righteous, and the treacherous is in the place of the upright. It is better to live in a desert land than with a contentious and vexing woman. There is desirable treasure and oil in the abode of the wise, but a foolish man swallows it up. He who pursues righteousness and loving kindness finds life, righteousness, and glory. A wise man goes up to the city of the mighty and brings down the stronghold in which they trust. He who keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps his soul from troubles. Arrogant, haughty, scoffer are his names, who acts with arrogant fury. The desire of the sluggard puts him to death, for his hands refuse to work. All day long he is insatiably craving, while the righteous gives and does not hold back. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination, how much more when he brings it with a wicked scheme. A false witness will perish, but the man who listens will speak forever. A wicked man displays a brazen face, but as for the upright he establishes his way. There is no wisdom, there is no discernment, and there is no counsel against Yahweh. The horse is set for the day of battle, but salvation belongs to Yahweh. Proverbs chapter 22. A good name is to be chosen over great wealth. Favor is better than silver and gold. The rich and the poor meet together in this. Yahweh is the maker of them all. A prudent man sees evil and hides, but the simple pass on and are punished. The reward of humility, the fear of Yahweh, is riches, glory, and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the crooked. He who keeps his soul will be far from them. Train up a child according to his way. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender. He who sows unrighteousness will reap iniquity, and the rod of his fury will end. He who is generous will be blessed, for he gives from his food to the poor. Drive out the scoffer, and strife will go out. Even contention and disgrace will cease. He who loves purity of heart and grace on his lips, the king is his friend. The eyes of Yahweh guard knowledge, but he subverts the words of the treacherous one. The sluggard says, "There is a lion outside. I will be killed in the streets." The mouth of strange women is a deep pit. He who is cursed of Yahweh will fall into it. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child. The rod of discipline will remove it far from him. He who oppresses the poor to make more for himself, or who gives to the rich, will only come to lack. Incline your ear and hear the words of the wise, and set your heart on my knowledge. For it will be pleasant if you keep them within you, that they may be established on your lips, so that your trust may be in Yahweh. I have made you know today, even you. Have I not written to you excellent things of counsels and knowledge, to make you know the veracity of the words of truth, that you may respond with the words of truth to him who sent you? Do not rob the poor because he is poor, and do not crush the afflicted at the gate, for Yahweh will plead their case, and rob the soul of those who rob them. Do not befriend a man of anger, and do not come along with a man of great wrath, lest you learn his ways and take on a snare against your soul. Do not be among those who strike hands in pledge, among those who become guarantors for debts. If you have nothing with which to pay, why should he take your bed from under you? Do not move the ancient boundary which your fathers made. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Proverbs chapter 23. When you sit down to dine with a ruler, understand well what is before you. So you should put a knife to your throat, if you are a man of appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for it is bread of falsehood. Do not weary yourself to gain wealth. Because of your understanding, cease. Do you make your eyes fly up to see it? But it is not there, because it certainly makes itself wings, like an eagle that flies toward the heavens. Do not eat the bread of a selfish man, and do not desire his delicacies. For as he calculates in his soul, so he is. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the morsel you have eaten, and you will corrupt your pleasant words. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the insight of your speech. Do not move the ancient boundary, and do not come into the fields of the orphans. For their Redeemer is strong, he will plead their case against you. Bring your heart to discipline, and your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from the child, although you strike him with the rod, he will not die. You shall strike him with the rod and deliver his soul from Sheol. My son, if your heart is wise, my own heart also will be glad, and my inmost being will exult when your lips speak upright things. Do not let your heart be jealous of sinners, but be zealous in the fear of Yahweh always. Surely there is a future, and your hope will not be cut off. You, my son, listen and be wise, and direct your heart in the way. Do not be with heavy drinkers of wine, or with gluttonous eaters of meat. For the heavy drinker and the glutton will come to poverty, and drowsiness will clothe them with rags. Listen to your father who begot you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy truth, and do not sell it. Get wisdom and discipline and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, and he who begets a wise son will be glad in him. Let your father and your mother be glad, and let her rejoice who gave birth to you. Give your heart to me, my son, and let your eyes delight in my ways. For a harlot is a deep pit, and a foreign woman is a narrow well. Surely she lies in wait as a robber, and adds to the treacherous among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long over wine, those who go to search out mixed wine. Do not look on the wine when it glistens red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. At the end, like a serpent it bites, and like a viper it stings. Your eyes will see strange things, and your heart will speak perverse things. And you will be like one who lies down in the heart of the sea, or like one who lies down on the top of a mast. They struck me, but I did not become ill. They beat me, but I did not know it. When shall I awake? I will seek yet another. Proverbs chapter 24. Do not be jealous of evil men, and do not desire to be with them, for their heart meditates on destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. By wisdom a house is built, and by discernment it is firmly established. And by knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, and a man of knowledge strengthens his power. For by guidance you will make war, and in abundance of counselors there is salvation. Wisdom is too exalted for an ignorant fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. One who deliberately thinks to do evil, men will call a schemer. The scheming of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. If you are slack in the day of trouble, your strength is in trouble. Deliver those who are being taken away to death, and those who are stumbling to the slaughter. O hold them back. If you say, Behold, we did not know this, does not he who weighs the hearts understand? And does not he who guards your soul know? And will not he render to man according to his work? Eat honey, my son, for it is good. Indeed, the honey from the comb is sweet to your taste. Know that wisdom is thus for your soul. If you find it, then there will be a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Do not lie in wait, O wicked man, against the abode of the righteous. Do not destroy his resting place. For a righteous man falls 7 times, and rises again, but the wicked will stumble in calamity. When your enemy falls, do not be glad, and when he stumbles, do not let your heart rejoice, lest Yahweh see it, and it be evil in his eyes, and turn his anger away from him. Do not fret because of evildoers, do not be jealous of the wicked, for there will be no future for the evil one. The lamp of the wicked will go out. My son, fear Yahweh and the king. Do not associate with those who change, for suddenly their disaster will rise, and who knows the upheaval that comes from both of them. These also are sayings of the wise. To show partiality in judgment is not good. He who says to the wicked, "You are righteous," peoples will curse him, nations will be indignant with him. But to those who reprove the wicked it will be pleasant, and a good blessing will come upon them. He kisses the lips, who responds with right words. Establish your work outside and make it ready for yourself in the field, and afterwards you shall build your house. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, nor deceive with your lips. Do not say, "As he did to me, so I shall do to him. I will render to the man according to his work." I passed by the field of the sluggard, and by the vineyard of the man lacking a heart of wisdom. And behold, it was completely overgrown with thistles. Nettles have covered its surface, and its stone wall has been torn down. And I beheld, I set my heart upon it. I saw, I received discipline, a little sheep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then your poverty will come as a robber, and your want like an armed man. Proverbs chapter 25. These also are proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah king of Judah transcribed. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there comes out a vessel for the smith. Take away the wicked before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not promote your majesty in the presence of the king, and in the place of great men do not stand. For it is better that it be said to you, "Come up here," than for you to be placed lower in the presence of a noble, whom your eyes have seen. Do not go out hastily to plead your case, lest what will you do in the end, when your neighbor humiliates you? Plead your case with your neighbor, and do not reveal the secret of another, lest he who hears it bring disgrace upon you, and the bad report about you will not turn away. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken in right circumstances. Like an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful envoy to those who send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of his gifts falsely. When one is slow to anger, a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue breaks the bone. Have you found honey? Eat only enough for you, lest you have more than your fill and vomit it. Let your foot rarely be in your neighbor's house, lest he have more than his fill of you and hate you. Like a club and a sword and a sharp arrow is a man who bears false witness against his neighbor. Like an aching tooth and a slipping foot is trust in a treacherous man in a day of distress. Like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar on soda, is he who sings songs to an aching heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink, for you will heap burning coals on his head, and Yahweh will repay you. The north wind brings forth rain, and a tongue of secrets an indignant face. It is better to live in a corner of the roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. Like cold water to a weary soul, so is a good report from a distant land. Like a muddied spring and a corrupted well is a righteous man shaking before the wicked. To eat too much honey is not good, nor is it glory to search out one's own glory. Like a city that is broken into and without a wall is a man without restraint over his spirit. Proverbs chapter 26. Like snow in summer and like rain in harvest, so glory is not fitting for a fool. Like a sparrow in its flitting, like a swallow in flying, so a curse without cause does not come to pass. A whip is for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you yourself also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. He cuts off his own feet and drinks violence, who sends words by the hand of a fool. Like the legs which hang limp on the lame, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like one who binds a stone in a sling, so is he who gives glory to a fool. Like a thorn which goes up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like an archer who wounds everyone, so is he who hires a fool, or who hires those who pass by. Like a dog that returns to its vomit is a fool who repeats his folly. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. The sluggard says, "There is a fierce lion in the road. A lion is among the streets." As the door turns on its hinges, so does the sluggard on his bed. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish. He is too weary to return it to his mouth. The sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can respond with a discreet answer. Like one who seizes a dog by the ears is he who passes by and becomes passionate about strife not belonging to him. Like a madman who shoots firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, "Am I not joking?" With no wood the fire goes out, and where there is no whisperer, strife quiets down. Like charcoal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. The words of a whisperer are like dainty morsels, and they go down into the innermost parts of the stomach. Like an earthen vessel overlaid with silver dross are fiery lips and an evil heart. He who hates disguises it with his lips, but he sets up deceit within himself. When he makes his voice gracious, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred covers itself with guile, his evil will be revealed in the assembly. He who digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone, it will turn back on him. A lying tongue hates those it crushes, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Proverbs chapter 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. Let a stranger praise you, and not your own mouth, a foreigner, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy and the sand weighty, but the provocation of an ignorant fool is heavier than both of them. Wrath is cruelty, and anger is a flood, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is reproof that is revealed than love that is hidden. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. A satisfied soul tramples the honeycomb, but to a hungry soul any bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that wanders from her nest, so is a man who wanders from his place. Oil and incense make the heart glad, so counsel from the soul is sweet to his friend. Do not forsake your friend or your father's friend, and do not come to your brother's house in the day of your disaster. Better is one who dwells near than a brother far away. Be wise, my son, and make my heart glad, that I may respond with a word to him who reproaches me. A prudent man sees evil and hides. The simple pass on and are punished. Take his garment when he becomes a guarantor for a stranger, and for a foreign woman seize it as a pledge. He who blesses his friend with a loud voice early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him. A constant dripping on a day of steady rain and a contentious woman are alike. He who would restrain her restrains the wind and grasps oil with his right hand. Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. He who guards the fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who keeps watch for his master will be honored. As in water, face reflects face, so the heart of man reflects man. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, and each is tested by the mouth that praises him. Though you pound an ignorant fool in a mortar with a pestle in the midst of a crushed grain, his folly will not turn aside from him. Know well the condition of your flocks, and pay attention to your herds. For wealth is not forever, neither is a crown from generation to generation. When the grass disappears and the vegetation appears, and the herbs of the mountains are gathered in, the lambs will be for your clothing, and the goats will bring the price of a field. And there will be enough goat's milk for your food, for the food of your household, and sustenance for your maidens. Proverbs chapter 28. The wicked flee when there is no one pursuing, but the righteous are secure as a lion. By the transgression of a land many are its princes, but by a man who understands, who knows, so it endures. A poor man who oppresses the lowly is a driving rain which leaves no food. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but those who keep the law strive with them. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek Yahweh understand all things. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked, double-dealing, though he be rich. He who observes the law is a son who understands, but he who befriends gluttons humiliates his father. He who increases his wealth by interest and usury gathers it for him who is gracious to the lowly. He who turns away his ear from listening to the law, even his prayer is an abomination. He who leads the upright astray in an evil way will himself fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the lowly who understands searches him. When the righteous exalt, there is great honor, but when the wicked rise, man has to be sought out. He who conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will receive compassion. How blessed is the man who is always in dread, but he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity. Like a roaring lion and a rushing bear is a wicked ruler over a poor people. A leader who lacks discernment abounds in oppressions, but he who hates greedy gain will prolong his days. A man oppressed by the blood guilt of life will flee until death, let no one uphold him. He who walks blamelessly will be saved, but he who is crooked, double-dealing, will fall all at once. He who cultivates his ground will be satisfied with food, but he who pursues empty things will be satisfied with poverty. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but he who makes haste to be rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good. Even for a piece of bread a man will transgress. A man with an evil eye hurries after wealth, and does not know that want will come upon him. He who reproves a man will afterward find more favor than he who flatters with the tongue. He who robs his father or his mother, and says, "It is not a transgression," is a companion of a man who destroys. An arrogant man stirs up strife, but he who trusts in Yahweh will be enriched. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely will escape. He who gives to the poor will never want, but he who shuts his eyes will have many curses. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Proverbs chapter 29. A man who hardens his neck after much reproof will suddenly be broken beyond healing. When the righteous increase, the people are glad, but when a wicked man rules, people groan. A man who loves wisdom makes his father glad, but he who befriends harlots destroys his wealth. By justice the king causes the land to stand, but a man of bribes tears it down. A man who flatters his neighbor is spreading a net for his steps. By transgression an evil man is ensnared, but the righteous sings with joy and is glad. The righteous knows the cause of the poor. The wicked does not understand that knowledge. Scoffers set a city aflame, but wise men turn away anger. When a wise man is brought into judgment with a man who is an ignorant fool, the ignorant fool both rages and laughs, and there is no rest. Men of bloodshed hate the blameless, but the upright seek the well-being of his soul. A fool lets out all of his spirit, but a wise man holds it back. If a ruler pays attention to a lying word, all his ministers become wicked. The poor man and the oppressor meet together in this. Yahweh gives light to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor with truth, his throne will be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. When the wicked increase, transgression increases, but the righteous will see their fall. Discipline your son, and he will give you rest, and he will give delight to your soul. Where there is no vision, the people are out of control, but how blessed is he who keeps the law. A slave will not be corrected by words alone, for though he understands, there will be no answer. Do you behold a man who is hasty in his words? There is more hope for a fool than for him. He who pampers his slave from childhood will in the end find him to be arrogant. An angry man stirs up strife, and a hot-tempered man abounds in transgression. A man's lofty pride will bring him low, but a lowly spirit will take hold of glory. He who divides the spoil with a thief hates his own soul. He hears the oath but declares nothing. Trembling before man brings a snare, but he who trusts in Yahweh will be set securely on high. Many seek the face of a ruler, but justice for man comes from Yahweh. An unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, and he who is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. Proverbs chapter 30. The words of Agur, the son of Jacob, the oracle. The man declares to Ithiel and Ucal, "Surely I am more senseless than any man, and I do not have the understanding of mankind, neither have I learned wisdom, nor do I know the knowledge of the Holy One. Who has ascended into heaven and descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has wrapped the waters in his garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? Surely you know. Every word of God is tested. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, lest he reprove you, and you be proved a liar. 2 things I ask of you. Do not withhold from me before I die. Keep worthlessness and every false word far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is my portion, lest I be full and deny you and say, Who is Yahweh? Or lest I be impoverished and steal, and profane the name of my God. Do not slander a slave to his master, lest he curse you, and you be found guilty. There is a generation that curses its father, and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is clean in its own eyes, yet is not washed from its filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how haughty are its eyes, and its eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are like swords, and its fangs like knives, to devour the afflicted from the earth, and the needy from among men. The leech has 2 daughters. Give, give. There are 3 things that will not be satisfied, 4 that will not say enough. Sheol and the barren womb, earth that is never satisfied with water, and fire that never says enough. The eye that mocks a father and despises obedience to a mother. The ravens of the valley will pick it out, and the young eagles will eat it. There are 3 things which are too wonderful for me, 4 which I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a serpent on a rock, the way of a ship in the heart of the sea, and the way of a man with a virgin. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth, and says, I have done no wrong. Under 3 things the earth quakes, and under 4 it cannot bear up. Under a slave when he becomes king, and a wicked fool when he is satisfied with food. Under an unloved woman when she gets a husband, and a servant girl when she supplants her mistress. 4 things are small on the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are not a strong people, but they prepare their food in the summer. The Shephanim are not a mighty people, yet they make their houses in the cliff. The locusts have no king, yet all of them go out in rank. The lizard you may grasp with your hands, yet it is in kings' palaces. There are 3 things which are stately in their march, even 4 which are stately when they walk. The lion which is mighty among the animals, and does not turn back before any. The strutting rooster, the male goat also, and a king when his army is with him. If you have been wickedly foolish in lifting yourself up, or if you have schemed evil, put your hand on your mouth. For pressing milk brings forth butter, and pressing the nose brings forth blood, and pressing anger brings forth strife. Proverbs chapter 31. The words of King Lemuel, the oracle unto which his mother disciplined him. What, O my son, and what, O son of my womb, and what, O son of my vows? Do not give your excellence to women, or your ways to that which blots out kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, or for rulers to desire strong drink, lest he drink and forget what is decreed, and pervert the justice of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those whose soul is bitter. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and he will not remember his trouble any longer. Open your mouth for the mute, for the justice of all those passing away. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and render justice to the afflicted and needy. An excellent wife who can find, for her worth is far above pearls. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She deals bountifully with him for good and not evil all the days of her life. She searches for wool and flax, and works with her hands in delight. She is like merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. And she rises while it is still night, and gives food to her household, and a portion to her young women. She makes plans for a field and buys it. From the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength, and makes her arms strong. She senses that her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out at night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold fast the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor, and she stretches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She makes coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits with the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and gives belts to the tradesmen. Strength and majesty are her clothing, and she smiles at the future. She opens her mouth in wisdom, and the instruction of loving kindness is on her tongue. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and bless her. As for her husband, he also praises her, saying, "Many daughters have done excellently, but you have gone above them all." Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears Yahweh, she shall be praised. Give to her from the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates.